It's crazy to think how unimportant the safety used to be back in the 70s. They were filled up by washed up corners or guys who weren't fast enough to play cornerback. Now safeties get drafted in the first round, hell, even as high as the top 5. It's been a trend over recent years to have cornerbacks make that switch to safety, but not because they're washed up or can't run. It's because of how pass happy the league has become. It's imperative that safeties can cover the slot and match up against tight ends, and we're seeing more and more switches each and every year. Earl Thomas tops my safety list because he's equally great at stopping the run and being in coverage. He's fiery, he's smart, he's athletic, he's physical, and extremely confident out there on the field. At 5'10", 208, Thomas is the smallest member of the Legion of Boom, but that doesn't mean he can't lay the boom. He launches himself like a missile at ball carriers. I love watching him hit. His closing speed and range going sideline to sideline is by far the best in the league. Seriously, watch him close on a back in the flat. It seems like most of the time, he's there before the ball is. He's simply the best in space and rarely out of position. In coverage, he's athletic enough to run with any receiver in the game. Eric Berry checks in at number 2, so he beats Hodgkin's lymphoma and quickly re-solidifies himself as being one of the best safeties in the game. It's incredible. He and Thomas were taken in the same draft. Berry went 5th, and Thomas 9 spots later at 14. Berry is an athletic specimen. He has great closing speed and is always in position when in coverage. In the open field, he gets from the back pedal to sprint in a flash, and as a run defender, he plays with good form and technique and is at his best playing the edge. Tyrann Mathieu is number 3, tore his ACL late in the year, but man, the Honey Badger was having a hell of a year. Quite frankly, he could have thrown his name into the mix for Defensive Player of the Year. His quick feet allows him to play slot receivers with ease, and although he does lack some size, he's only 5'9", Mathieu still has the feistiness to compete with tight ends, especially when attacking the catch point. The guy is a beast in the run game. He's physical, which is just so damn impressive for a guy his size. He plays with a low center of gravity too, so it's tough for a blocker to get under his pads. And when he gets to the ball carrier, he lays the boom. He doesn't just want to wrap them up. I've got Devin McCourty at number 4. His range and instincts as a center fielder is among the best in the game. The move from quarterback to safety was the best thing that could have happened to him because it's here where he can use his athleticism, top-end speed, and instincts, and he's rarely targeted. He can completely shut down the middle of the field. It was actually pretty tough finding clips because of this. Many may not think of McCourty being a great run defender because he is a former cornerback, but has fantastic range due to his speed and does a great job of taking away the outside runs. The underrated Rashad Jones is number 5. He's not as recognizable a name as some of the others I'm going to have in the top 10, but turn on the tape. I mean, the guy's a stud. He also checks off every category of the stat column. 106 tackles, 5 interceptions, 2 of which were returned for scores, and a pair of sacks. At 6'1", 210, Jones is a guy that likes to play in the box and lay the lumber. He can make tackles in space, pursuit, and in traffic. In coverage, Jones sees a lot of action against opposing tight ends. He's not exactly the most consistent in coverage, but evidenced by his pick sixes, he makes splash plays. Number 6 is Malcolm Jenkins. The fans in Philadelphia know how good he is, but the rest of the country, maybe not so much. He was such a key cog in Billy Davis's defense the last couple years because he likes his safeties covering the slot, and the former cornerback Jenkins excelled in this area. He limits yards after the catch because of his tackling ability, and is equally adept at playing wideouts and tight ends. Stopping the run is an area where Jenkins has really improved in since he's been in Philly, because this was something he used to not do so well in. He takes the proper angles to ball carriers and fills alleys. Harrison Smith is number 7 at 6'2", 214. Smith is a great physical in-the-box type of safety, but can drop back in coverage as well. Against the run, Smith is one of the best in the business from the safety spot. He comes off blocks and lays the wood in the open field. In coverage, he plays with great instincts and intelligence as a center field safety. He reads and jumps routes well. He also takes the proper angles and attacks the ball when bringing receivers down. Kam Chancellor is number 8. He's an athletic freak. The guy is 6'3", 232, but his leaping ability is remarkable. Trademark are his big hits. I mean, he is in the Legion of Boom, so he's a physical in-the-box type of safety, but he can also make plays off the edge. Now, I just said Smith is one of the best in the business at stopping the run from the safety spot, but that distinction of the best goes to Chancellor. In coverage, you better watch out if you go over the middle, and he has the athleticism to play tight ends up the seam. Morgan Burnett checks in at number 9, basically an extra linebacker on the field with his ability to play the run. He's very savvy, which helps him overcome physical limitations because he can slice through traffic without having to take on blockers and make plays on the ball. Pass coverage has always been a bit of a weakness, but Burnett's improvements in this area the last few years is why I have him in the top 10. TJ Ward rounds out my top 10, coming off a very disappointing season in Denver in his first year with the club. Ward backed that up with a not-so-disappointing one. Ward is at his best playing the run and being physical in the box. He's another one of those guys that's basically like an extra linebacker. His instincts of finding the ball helps him in coverage where he plays with good range. Some other guys on my list, there's Clinton-Dix at 12, Tashaun Gipson at 15, Jairus Byrd at 16, Byron Jones at 23, and Corey Graham at 29. Clinton-Dix, like Burnett, is better in run defense right now. He flies downhill to tackle ball carriers. Gipson didn't have a great year in 2015 as he has in previous seasons, but the guy's a playmaker. Just signed with the Jaguars during the offseason. I like his game a lot. I have Byrd at 16, but he hasn't been playing like that. I mean, the guy hasn't even played like a top 50 safety since joining the Saints. He had 22 interceptions over his first 5 seasons in Buffalo, but has just 1 in 2 years with New Orleans. If there's a guy that's going to vault up my rankings for next year, it might be Jones, who is, quite frankly, a freak of an athlete. I love watching this kid play. Graham is yet another example of a cornerback making the transition to safety. He was a fantastic slot guy for Buffalo for years, but seamlessly made the switch to safety a year ago. As for the Eagles, I've got Rodney McLeod at number 20. While I don't think the Eagles have the best pair of safeties in the league, they are up there. McLeod is an old-school type of safety who lays the wood, but can also cover, too. So that's it for my safety list. Let me know in the comments section below who's in your top 10, who's in your top 5, whatever, who's underrated, who's overrated, and let me know. So that is all. I am Adrian Fedke. This is a wrap for the ranking series. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Later.